in the core 4v4 universe of Rogue Company. We'll get to look actually here at Umbra's. That's his kind of selection pose there with the spider perched up on his shoulder. And we'll get to see his cool walk in here. I just want to take a moment to appreciate the spider nestling in his head as he looks super badass walking on in. Super cool character. I mean, the outfit, the spider twitching in and out of the head. Like, this is Umbra. This is one of Jackal's highest ranking, officials in their organization. This is the first time we're seeing an actual agent of Jackal out on the field. They've really just been kind of a whisper on the wind. Somebody, that we know about. We know that they're up to no good out in the world of Rogue Company, but they've yet to show their face. And that all changes with Umbra. And this has been led to us because of some data that was uncovered in Chalk's, kind of home stomping grounds. The wanted map, Glitch and Chalk found something there. We don't know what it is. They're all after this little piece of data stored on that drive. And Umbra's got it. Glitch is looking a little worse for wear based on what we're seeing. This is a brand new rogue. We're super excited to kind of get into and introduce. First of all, his shop, his gameplay kit, what you can be expecting to see. Obviously, you're going to notice the Bishop first. And you can see next to the Bishop, DMRs and SMGs. That's becoming a more important factor of these rogues as we move forward. Not only what weapons they start with, but what weapon classes they have on offer. So Umbra will offer DMRs and SMGs. He will start with the Bishop, which is brand new, semi-automatic DMR with a high fire rate, best in class fire rate, extremely fast. If you want to think about the LMPX SMG as sort of the hybrid between SMGs and ARs, think of the Bishop as the hybrid between a DMR and an assault rifle. So it's going to fire pretty quick. You can see by these upgrades, it's got magazine size, hip fire accuracy, reduced recoil, suppressed fire, damage range, and reduced bloom on the final one there. So very, very effective combat rifle at, kind of mid to close, but even, has that DMR aspect to it. So it's going to hit pretty good, pretty hard from far away. Sounds awesome too, Jarrell. I love the way that this gun looks, the way that it feels to shoot, the way that it sounds when it shoots, even when it's silenced. I think they did a great job just with all the little bells and whistles on this weapon. It's definitely a really cool rifle.
Yeah, and I really think so. DMRs are my preferred weapon, so I'm really excited to use this one when it hits live.
Yeah, big old chunky attachments, super, super fun to use. That's what's new as far as the weapons. I definitely encourage you to use this one first. This is a bad rifle, man. You guys are really going to enjoy getting your hands on this one, I think. It's important for you to, have this character so you can master this DMR so that you can use it on other DMR characters. It's definitely a tool you want to have in your arsenal. We'll head back into the shop here. I'll start walking you through some of the other things. Executioner starting pistol. For him, the combat knife is another fun new element of his kit we'll talk a little bit about here. It's his melee weapon. It's pretty flavorful, kind of similar almost to the sledgehammer in that this is not specialized to be a thrown melee weapon. This is a very specialized swung melee weapon when you start to upgrade it. So it never gets a damage increase. It always is going to hit for 40. It's going to throw for that standard 75. But what it gets when you upgrade it is that lunge distance. You can kind of see that on throw there. Standard throw damage, like we mentioned, stuck in big boy anvil there. But it's all focused on the lunge and the melee swing speed. So the swing speed was something we introduced with the sledgehammer, and now the combat knife is going to be getting that as well. So all about the swing there. For his gadgets, he's got the bounce grenade and the smoke grenade. Those aren't new. You guys should be pretty much familiar with kind of what those do. Looking down at the perks, we've got Berserker, Padded Steps, Hunter, Stalker, Replenish, and Life Drain. And if you'll notice, Hunter is new. You probably don't know. You probably don't recognize what is this perk? What does this do? This is a fun one that it synergizes really well with his ability that we'll show later on. But as your enemies are stomping around on the map, they will leave these little footprints there to kind of give you a little bit of a better idea of where they're heading, where enemies maybe have been recently. And you can see it's got that little effect, the glow there. The glow is a little wonky in the shooting range. Sometimes it just doesn't work on the ground in the shooting range, but this kind of glows for you. You can kind of see it up there flickering in and out. It's just to allow you to see where enemy have moved recently. These footprints appear whenever you're sprinting or if you're walking, but the key counterpoint to this perk is if you're crouch walking, you will not leave the, there we go. There we got some good glowy footprints over there. So that's what you need to be kind of looking out for, these glowy footprints all around the maps. And if you want to avoid leaving a trail, it's very important for you to crouch walk around, and you will not leave trackable footprints by this perk. Like we mentioned, he's got Replenish, Life Drain, Umbra. You saw his cinematic. He's moving fast. He's lethal, and he's ready to kind of go from combat engagement to combat engagement. Brad, why don't you take one of these bots down for me? We can kind of talk a little bit about his passive and what that does. So the name of this passive, I'm hoping it works on bots. It does. Okay, so you see there, you have increased maximum health now. You have 110 health. This is his passive. This is Siphon, is the name of this. So if you're used to this mechanic and you've only ever seen this on Vi when she drains health from people with her poison, Umbra gets this whenever he downs or eliminates. And as these bots, they don't go down, right? They're just being instant eliminated. That's why you're seeing 10. A down is worth 5 maximum health, and an elimination is worth 5 maximum health. And you don't have to be the one to score the elimination. As long as you're a part of that down and elim, you should be getting credit for this. So you're basically, as you're winning these fights, you're getting more and more health up to a cap of 125. So you're kind of moving around like an armored target, but it's not armor. It's more special in that it's just maximum health. You can regenerate this health. You don't have to channel or repair or anything. And as soon as that regens, you will be good to go. It's kind of reflected by that green chiclet there. So when you're fighting Umbras, be on the lookout for that green chiclet and just be aware that, okay, he's a little bit tankier right now. He's got some extra health. He's gotten a couple downs. It's a great passive to help keep him roll. It synergizes really nicely with the life drain there. And then the moment you've all been waiting for, the ability for this character. Very, very unique. Very, very fun. The ARC Arachnid spider drone crawls out of the back of Umbra's head. You have 12 seconds to pilot this explosive spider around the map. You can see its explosion radius by this red kind of highlighted circle on the ground there. Like I mentioned, you have 12 seconds before it blows up automatically. And that's for, your enemies too. They have that much time to kind of run away. You can jump around the map. You can run around. It does 125 base damage. So note, and that's only at the center. This works similar to a grenade or any other explosive in our game, where the farther you are from the center of that explosion, the less damage you're going to take. So we killed Anvil the first time. If we hit him just with the edge of the explosion here, we'll see that it will not be lethal to our big boy there. Armored targets are going to be especially kind of more safe from that. So run away from this thing. It can't jump quite as high as the rest of the rogues. It can't mantle. So if you can jump and mantle up onto something, that's a good way to get safe from this. This spider can be shot. It can be EMP'd, killed by trip mines. It can be slowed by the barbed wires and things like that. Like, there's a lot you can do to play around what happens with the spider and what you can expect. Glitch can hack it. Any sort of means by destroying a gadget that you're used to, that's going to be your main route and your main kind of priority for destroying this spider and counterplaying that. Let's take a look at some of this Umbra Mastery Spray. Wow, what a great one there.
The art is so
very,
sick.
very cool.
Yeah.
That's my first time seeing this one too. This is sweet. Obviously, pretty standard mastery track here. You're going to get your spray. You're going to get your emote, special spider-themed emote. He's the man, the myth, the legend. I love like the small details of the spider. When your ability is on cooldown, the spider lives in the back of your cybernetic skull, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's just a gap there, right? There is clearly a space for the spider, and it's empty. Your cybernetic skull is nearly empty when your spider's on cooldown, and then when it